What up, my peeps? It's your Knucker Big Rucker back at you again with another action figure review. This time we have from the Hasbro Marvel Legends VHS series featuring the plastic-free packaging. We're talking about Mr. Sinister, courtesy of the 90s animated cartoon show. Yes, indeed, this is the third figure to be released here in the States. Prior to that, we got Wolverine and we got Jubilee, and we are scheduled to get Storm, Jean Grey, and most recently revealed Morph. So yeah, it's pretty good. I'm going to start mentioning where I get my product from to give you guys an idea where you can get it if it's still available, and etc, etc. I got Mr. Sinister from the Shop Disney store online. If you don't know, you should take note that Shop Disney usually does not have pre-orders. They put them up as they get them up, so you got to be on it, doggone it, if you want it. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, it just came out that way. Anyhow, enough of the clownage. It's time to look at what we got here. We've got the VHS style packaging, which will be made apparent when we turn it to the side. You see Mr. Sinister himself. You've got his face up there in the upper left. You got X-Men, Mr. Sinister, plastic free packaging right down there. Turn it to the side. Here's where you can tell that it's VHS packaging by looking right there at the bottom there. You can see that looks like I'm kind of crooked. We're leaning. Anyhow, you can see the notch at the bottom. It doesn't really slide up like it would if that was an actual VHS tape. It's just giving off the appearance, but you see what it is. You got the MVL Legends, the logo on the back. We have we've got artwork showing Mr. Sinister, and we get our typical write-up as that's how Hasbro Marvel Legends, how they do. This reads: the twisted geneticist Mr. Sinister seeks to create the perfect mutant life form. His chosen test subjects, Jean Grey and Cyclops. Then of course additional languages, and below you've got the legalese, more of that artwork on that side, and we are back to the front. So that's how it goes down. So since this is new style and unique packaging, what we're going to do is open up and show you exactly how it's all done, so you all know what to expect with this plastic free packaging. You see what it looks like in there. So I'm going to pull Mr. Essex out, Nathaniel Essex if you didn't know, and you can see how that works. Let me stick the box back up there like that, and you see the figures in wax paper. The cape is stretched out to the back, so be careful how you pull that out. You got this. I'll put this to the side. Then I will take Mr. Sinister out of his packaging, and if you didn't guess before, know it now. He comes with, we'll call it, 0 accessories. So I'm going to open him up and see if he'll stand. We'll see if he does. The cape can make it problematic because it's actually longer than he is tall, but because he is big and he's got the big feet, he does stand. So you gotta love that. I will zoom out just a little bit so you can take him all in. Get him a little bit bigger so you don't have to strain your eyes. You know what I mean? So there it is. We're doing this live and straight up. So there you go. There's Mr. Sinister out of his packaging. So now that we've done that, we're going to get up close. So here we have Nathaniel Essex, aka Mr. Sinister, up close and personal. So we can see what we got, and we've got the white, chalk white face. It's more or less the same color as the previous iteration in terms of how pale or white it is. There are differences, and we'll go over those differences momentarily. But because this is the VHS series, their claim to fame is cell shading, which is of course a polarizing issue. Some people like it, some don't. I still don't really have an opinion. I think it depends, on the Wolverine figure. It came out all right to me. Wolverine actually looked to me like, if you look past him, kind of sort of like you stare at him, but kind of sort of look beyond him, he looks like he was part of the cartoon. Jubilee, not so much. As far as Mr. Sinister here, for me, the jury's still out. Let's go over where that cell shading is. He's got some immediately. Looking at the head, we can see some already. Looking at the head and looking at his right side, which is off to our left, you see that one side of his head does not have the blue streak, whereas that side does. That's cell shading right there. So I don't know how you guys will actually feel about that. Since we've got him close up, look at the rest of the head. He's got the nice diamond and the black lips. The eyes are looking on point. And I want you to take note of his neckline. Just keep that in mind for later. So anyhow, we'll zoom out now and we'll peep the rest of him. You see he's got the cell shading there, his upper torso, his chest, around the clavicle area, and of course the shoulder pads. You see that that grayish. Look at the back. I think I'll have to get it up a little bit more for you guys to see that part. But look at the back of his collar. You see it's red there, and then it's charcoal gray, silverish there. That's the cell shading off to his right side. Looking at the rest of the figure, if you look down, you see he's got that cell shading under his arm. Let's see if I'll lift the arm up so you can see that right there. He's got it on the interior of his left arm. You can see that there as I swivel it out, and some on his right arm. He's got some up there around his shoulder, and then going down you can see it on the crotch area and the thighs. He's got it on his elongated boots. You see that right there. And then going up, you can see he's got it along his legs and on the interiors of his feet there. As far as his cape, there's really nothing going on. It's it's the same color as his body mold, but looking at the interior of the cape, you see it's just basically the molded black. So I'm going to back him up, make sure he stands, and we're going to throw in the first version of Mr. Sinister. Make sure he doesn't fall. Once again, I said that cape will get in the way. You can automatically see that the cape, the interior of the cape is red, where the exterior of the cape, turning it around, is like a bluish color. You could tell that the cape was actually molded in red because some of that red seeps through. As you can see that, you can see the differences in color with the costume. And once again, now look at that neckline like I was talking about. It's you see that Mr. Sinister's armor goes all the way up to his neck, where he has a bare neck with the VHS version. So you got that. As far as the face, the only real difference I can see is his eyes. The original's eyes are more red than the VHS versions. I think he wants to fall because of that cape. Let me get him right. Okay, there we go. So yeah, and so that's basically the version. The differences. The belt. Looking at the belt, you can see they've got cell shading on the belt. I almost missed that. You can see some of that right there, whereas his belt on the I believe this is the Caliban wave of Mr. Sinister. This Mr. Sinister came from the Caliban wave. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong in post. In other words, if I'm wrong, you'll see some text along the bottom if you haven't seen it already. Let's see, more on our VHS version. There's some cell shading on his wrist gauntlets. You can see right there. Move it up some. And he's got some more right there. So yeah, they're really playing the cell shading game. It's not, in my opinion, it isn't really translating that well with Mr. Sinister. Once again, the best offering we've gotten, in my estimation, has been the Wolverine figure. To me, that one looks the most taken from the comics when you look at it. But I digress. You see the differences with the Mr. Sinisters. I'm going to take him off the off the screen there, and center our boy so you can actually see him better, and then get him more in screen. So yeah, there we go. Now, the only other thing I can think of doing right now is articulation, because this is the first time we've ever reviewed any Mr. Sinister, so I think it behooves me to actually show the articulation. So Mr. Sinister's head, since this is an older body mold, you know he's going to have the standard stuff, like his head is on a ball hinge, so he can look up that far. As you can see, pretty decent. Still impeded by that collar, but he still manages to look up good enough. He can look down that far, which is great. He can actually turn 360 if there were no collar, so you still get great movements there. Not much in the way of head tilt. As far as his shoulders go, he can, I think he can get it up yet close to 90. He can do a 360, but you'll have to bevel out to avoid the shoulder pad. He does have bicep swivel. This is once again an older mold, so he does have pinned elbows, double jointed. However, he does have wrist hinge and horizontal wrist swivel and horizontal hinge. That's on both sides there. He does come with an ab crunch, so he can crunch forward that far forward, this far back. He does have a waist swivel. His legs, he can almost Van Damme it. He can get his legs up that far, so he can get 90, get back about that much. He does have a thigh cut hidden expertly inside his boot, which is great. He does have double jointed knees, once again pinned, so he can get it like that. He does have a boot cut, which is once again expertly hidden with his small boots down there, so that's cool. And he can point his foot that far forward, that far up. He does have ankle pivot, excuse me there. And of course, holes, peg holes, the bottom of his feet. Here we have Sinister alongside the two other figures from this particular line, the VHS line. On our left, we have Wolverine, and like I said, to me, he looks the most like he was taken right from the cartoon. Even when he's off there to the left, his cell shading applications, to me, the way how they did it, plus along with the paint apps, he looks mostly like he came right out of the cartoon. And then of course on our right we have Jubilee. She not so much. And here are the three boxes side by side by side. And you see that that VHS package in there. And when you line them up sideways, front to back, you can see that here's something that I just noticed. Mr. Sinister is in that purple. If any of you recall the old Toy Biz 5-inch figures, all of the villains were the cards were purple like this. I had just noticed that just now, and it stirred that memory. And so yeah, that's cool. But you see that when they're faced on their sides, literally front to back, that's the front, and the backs have their bios. you see that the heroes and the villains are literally facing off against one another. So to sum it all up, the Marvel Legends VHS series X-Men 90s cartoon cel-shaded Mr. Sinister, wow, mouthful right there, is, well, it's basically a repaint of the same Mr. Sinister that we got a few years ago. Still looks like a good figure. It does give those that missed out and still want a Mr. Sinister an opportunity to get one without paying exorbitant secondary market prices, even though current retail prices are almost making that point null and void. You all know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. The cell shading, for me, leaves a lot to be desired. I love the new blue color. I'm still preferable to the old one because it's darker and more metallic looking. But this one is colored like the cartoon, so there's that if you want to play that game. I already talked about the cell shading and that color blue. Of course, just like with the first iteration of this figure, no accessories. What you see is what you get, so that is what it is. It's a nice large figure, so yeah, you've got to deal with that. So that's crazy. That's great. Other than that, you know, if you already have this figure the other way and the cell shading slash nostalgic 90s cartoon motif doesn't do it for you, you could care less, give it or take it, then you can pass on it. But if you already have Mr. Sinister, A, or B, you're a completionist, neurotic style like yours truly, then you're going to pick this up, as I have. So, you know, obviously the decision is yours. You do what you feel. And what I feel now is this review is over. So I thank you guys for rocking with me. Please like or dislike, do something, share, so others can peep this out, and then I can run the spiel to them. And most definitely, if you haven't done so already, subscribe. I need that. Looks like Mr. Sinister's trying to fall. He is. Got to put him up. I'm not going to change out. We're just going to keep it moving. I left off at subscribe, right? Oh, yes. Comment. Please do that. The algorithm loves that. And if you want to be notified so you can see another one of my figures get ready to fall off the rotating platter, hit the bell. Smash that bell and you will be notified of such an event occurring. I'm out. Thanks for rocking with me, guys. I love you. Until next time, remember, the hunt continues. And I am out. Peace.